Two Queers in a Truck. And I'm Billy James Gunn, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It is Two Queers in a Truck time, and it is December 17th. And I know this has been a recurring theme on this show and our sister show, Coffee and Pandolce. And we're glad. This isn't a complaint, but at least for Christian and I, or at least for myself, this year's gone by very fast.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it, considering he's in office. And the absolute course it actually is. But it is Two Queers in a Truck time, and we're going to jump right into it. I would do something a little different than I normally do. I normally talk about a lot of current events, a lot of things going on in my life. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. And the topics today are going to be my Christmas wish list. On the sister show, I'm going to have probably a load of grievances for the Festivus
That's right,
show.
the Festivus show.
They're played a little earlier today, so if you didn't tune into that, you can catch it on your favorite audio podcast platform or
That's
Facebook.
True. Yeah.
And you can see the Grinch side of me. But on this one, we're gonna do a Christmas wish list of things I think I would love to see for our society, for our people, for our legacy as people. And one of them would be that every American would have housing. And it's very attainable. There's way less homeless people than there are houses that are corporately owned. And I repeat that, there is way less unhoused people than there is corporate ownership of houses. And I think that if a corporation owns thousands or hundreds of thousands, or in some cases like BlackRock, millions of homes, that 20 to 25% of their houses need to go into a low-income program. It's mandatory nationwide. This needs to be a national program. I don't think this goes state to state. For scalable, affordable housing. And as part of this theme that I've been saying for years about comparing us to Norway, is that Norway's developed a sovereign fund that is also bet on the markets and has grown in equity, and it's untouchable by politicians on both sides of the aisle in that country. It's a built-in trust that can't be borrowed against, that always builds and pays for significant things that society needs. We should not only require that from companies like BlackRock that have made significant predatory gains off the American society, is that they twofold. Either they pay a 50% corporate tax and wealth tax, or they donate houses to the cause. And I mean, when I say donate, I mean donate to a program of their choosing that's federally supervised that goes into the pool. The deeds are moved out of their name, and or they pay significant penalties for not doing so. And I think anybody that owns more than 10 homes or 20 homes should have to do this. And here's a lot of reasons why. So they're the cause of the problem. The predatory landlords, and I'm talking about the large corporate ones. I'm not talking about the old boy that owns 4 or 5 duplexes or some shit like that. I'm talking about the predators, the leeches on our society, the scumbags that have made housing commodity illegally and unethically. is that housing should never be a commodity to the point to where you price families out or have created a strong houseless population to the point where people are feral and living on the streets for long term. People aren't meant to live in the streets when a certain amount of the population, the majority of the population, sleeps under a roof every night. It's unethical and it's wrong and it's shameful. It damages us in so many ways, and it's pay now or pay later equation. It's like the old Fram oil filter commercial. You pay now or you pay later. But you're going to, as a society, we're going to pay. We're not going to let people just die on the streets. And so we spend way much more money as a society by not paying now, by trying to inoculate the problem after we already know what the cause is. And we need to go to the source of what caused it, which is these large predatory corporations, which is the number one reason why there's a problem. The second reason why there's so much economic problems, why so many millennials and baby Zs can't buy homes, is student loan debt. They're literally making a house payment, but to a predatory lending company for a student loan debt they shouldn't have ever had. No state school should charge tuition. If it's state owned, if it's government owned, it should be free. It's already being paid for by the legislature in that state. We've already contributed enough money to that institution. The little paltry fees that they collect isn't nearly as much as endowments and everything else they get from the state. There is no reason to be charging people $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a semester or more. And I'm talking about all degrees. If it comes from a paid-for governmental institution, it should be free. It should be part of the entry fee into being an American. That should be part of being the privilege of being an American is enjoying those free educations. And the investment we've made in our national and statewide, state-to-state institutions of higher learning. There should be no cost to going to public schools, including food. No student should have a student lunch debt. That should never even be a fucking phrase. But there's millions and millions of kids that have student lunch debt to the point where they sometimes don't get to eat. And that's fucked up. When you have a country where a son of a bitch from South Africa gets a $1 trillion contract from a company he didn't create or make better. Yet we've got little kids out there, they're forced to go to school with families living in poverty. They can't fucking eat because they got student loan debt. Let me tell you, that school administration should be horsewhipped. First of all, they should be taken out in the parking lot in front of the students and horsewhipped. Pure and simple. Any school that has student loan debt as a policy should get a punch right in the fucking kisser. And I'm willing to do it. I promise you. That's horseshit. And it's shameful. No kid should go without in this country. Ever. If we can afford $100 billion fighter planes, we can damn well make sure our kids are fed and educated. That's the least we can fucking do for bringing them into this world. And we are up against our first break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck after this. Hey everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in a Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye. Happy
Hi everybody, this is Gersemi from the Aesthetic Cash Show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA, go to your nearest homeless shelter, go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it, because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people die to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normity, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yorense again from Espera Que, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.
Hey y'all, this is Jetty with Two Queers in a Truck and Christian's along with me. And we're just having fun, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season and super excited. We have some neat things going on in our whole family of shows, including Coffee and Pan Dulce, and many new shows that are brewing. Get it. And we are excited for 2025 and all the chicanery and other things that comes with it. So happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo. My third ask is that people should have access to food and water. 100%. We feed the world, we need to feed our own people. The effects of poverty automatically lower people's IQ by as much as 20%. And we don't need any more dumb people in this country, just like a MAGA Republic. We don't need to create any more stupidity than we already have. We don't need to make any more bad decisions as a people. I just watched a show last night. It's called It's Florida, Man. And let me tell you, it's a nonfiction kind of a reality show, but they recreate the situations and they show. And the first episode I've watched, which is the only episode I've watched so far, Florida is a very unique state in so many different ways. But and I'm not trying to bash Florida. I do love certain parts of Florida, but they sure do have a lion's share of stupid fucking people. And I'm gonna tell you, this first episode is funny as hell. Dude he didn't admit being hopped up on meth, but he's a meth head that went swimming in a lake swamp in Florida in the evening.
Gators and stuff?
He lost an arm to a gator, and it was the whole story of how he was down on his luck and blah blah blah, and it's funny as hell. I mean, my wife and I laughed at our asses off. But the only reason I'm bringing this up is the lack of food security just significantly hurt decision making and ability to sustain society. It's also that combination of that and medical services insecurity is one of the many reasons why we have a burgeoning problem of houselessness and homelessness in this country. Those instabilities of basic necessities that we've ignored as a people, that we're just continuing to ignore, and we are heading headstrong into doubling or tripling the ACA prices again under the Trump administration because they don't want to fund and continue the Biden administration programs that are lapsing on January 1st, which is one of the many reasons why MTG and many other, even Republicans, were upset, is that this was a very successful program that help keep coverage on people, and the significant part of our population is not going to have health care funding on January 1st because they're going to opt out when they see the new prices. So it's unaffordable. It went from the Affordable Care Act to the Unaffordable Care Act. They're trying to gut Obamacare, but without a replacement. They only have a concept of a plan, which means they don't have a fucking clue on what they're doing, but they won't keep going the program that's successful because, God forbid, it has an attachment to the Obama administration and the Biden administration. And we damn well don't want a successful program for the American people because we're run by a bunch of shit asses that hate Americans. And the fat orange farting blob, doesn't want anything nice for us. Merry Christmas. But feeding people should be a goal. It should be a societal goal. We should, whether it's students having to go to mandatory public schools, whether it's people, adults, we have enough resources. We have enough affluence in this country. We throw out so much food from supermarkets that other countries make it mandatory that supermarkets and restaurants recycle food to shelters. Republicans, especially in many cities, including Charlotte, North Carolina, have made feeding the homeless illegal in many places, or tried to. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a Republican agenda because somehow they think, I don't know, people going hungry is better than people being fed. Like it'll worsen their problems if we feed them. Maybe it'll help them stabilize enough to where they'll want to live. And if they want to live, they'll find their way into a program of some kind to significantly stabilize their life. But when people are going hungry, it's hard for them to think critically. It's hard for people to operate at any level of competence when they've not eaten in 2 or 3 days. But clean water, good food, it's not going to cost anybody anything. It's not a cost. It's a necessary thing of doing business. We have over 300 million Americans in this country. There's people that are going to come short when it comes to food, especially seniors on very strict budgets, which is a crime in itself. But food programs and medicine programs and inoculation programs should be an automatic cost of doing business. Government is a cost of doing business as a society. Shouldn't be a profit center for some jackass. It shouldn't be some till for some jackass like Elon Musk to dip in his scam companies. This government shouldn't be here for the rich elite. It needs to be here for the people. And we have the resources to uplift to where we don't have poverty. We should have a goal of zero poverty in this country and 100% harm reduction in this country. And it's all almost instantly achievable. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. What it takes is intentionality and effort, not to intentionally inflict harm on people or try to paint programs like feeding the hungry as socialism and it's bad. Yet at the same time, hundreds trillions of dollars to fucking companies. They're in the DoD programs and space programs and all kinds of things like that. That's socialism too. It's governmental money for the people that's being given to companies. Socialism cuts both ways. If it's bad for the people, then it's bad for corporations as well. Bar none. A whole more reason why there needs to be a wealth tax on high wealth individuals, which California is working on doing a 4 to 5% tax on the high wealthy here in California. Why? Because they benefit from the significantly intelligent and progressive policies of the state, and that we should be balancing our budget. Because they've benefited greatly by the great people of California and the great state of California and its infrastructure. And another thing that should be passed is a policy that if billionaires flee the state, but they should still be taxed for 10 years after they've left the state. Why? There should be a penalty for trying to go to a state that doesn't have an income tax that's a taker state like Florida or Texas. That we have to pay that money anyway. And that loss of revenue here just goes nowhere. It just goes into their fucking pockets for no reason. And they don't need that 5%. That's crazy. It's crazy to think that somebody needs that when they're that wealthy. And they live off far less of their income. They don't live on hardly any percentage of their income. If you're worth $100 billion, I assure you, you don't come where you wouldn't even spend $1 billion a year to live. They live quite comfortably on about probably 30 or 40 million, which is probably the interest on the interest of the money they have. They live off the interest of their investments and their wealth. They literally spend no money. It's free money to them. And so 4 or 5% wealth tax is nothing to somebody that's worth $100 million or more, that's hyper wealthy, that has 9-figure net worth or more. That's nothing. Why do I know this? Look at the people that are old, that are billionaires, and they're giving away 98% of their wealth. What does that say? And you read story after story, whether it's Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. I read of another billionaire, I can't think of his name. He's already passed away and gave away all of his money. But he gave away his last $8 billion and lived modestly his last couple of years because he knew he couldn't take it with him. And he gave it to like schools and charities and feeding people and all kinds of other things. So we know at the end of their lives, they can't take it with them. Hopefully for Elon Musk sooner than later. But the dirty bastards can't take it with them. So why not tip into the till now? Why not give us flowers while we're alive? Why not make a society better now? Why be the robber barons of the 21st century? Because sooner or later, society is going to end up with that wealth anyway. Sooner or later, there's going to be a wealth transfer. There's always guaranteed in this life, there's always going to be a wealth transfer of whatever wealth you have. At some point, it goes somewhere because you won't need it anymore. And the most important topic, harm reduction, ending all wars, and free medical coverage. They kind of go hand in hand. Veterans of war get provided medical care, but we're creating more and more veterans with the 9/11 wars for profit. And now with this looming war with Venezuela that's probably going to happen. They're trying to justify it every single day in press conferences of why we're already at war with Venezuela when we're not. We need to let Venezuela know. But we're amassing naval fleets and significant resources towards the Venezuelan border as we speak. So I would imagine after Christmas, probably in the new year, we're probably going to be in another war. From the president that says he didn't want any more wars, unless he needs one. But we need 100% access to medical care and get the medical care we need, despite the politics of it. We need to knock off the politics of people's medical care. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that we should stop funding HIV programs and or transitional healthcare programs or make it some kind of scapegoat for your problematic agendas. Once and for all, people's medical care is none of your fucking business. And it should all be funded, just like your stiffy pills that you need and the drugs and the fucking cures for the STIs that you guys get, and your Republican cocaine orgies, you guys need to mind your own damn business. Pure and simple. We also need to reduce harm. Wars create systemic violence. Back home, when we use violence as a tool of society, it has a ripple effect, including self-harm. 38,000 veterans of the 9/11 wars have taken their own life since 2002. All because of a war for profits. That needs to end. Harm reduction needs to be part of our societal cure, along with 100% medical coverage. We need to be a responsible society. Those are my Christmas wish list. I could go on and on. I could do 5 shows just on my wish list for our country. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time, nor do you want to listen to it. So that is my wish list. It is complete. This is a wrap on this episode of Gersemi's Christmas list for this year. Yes, I'm saying Christmas instead of holiday season, because a little bit of the Scrooge melting has occurred. But anyway, that's too much now. But this is still me. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and check out our other shows, including Coffee and Pandulce, if you're a long-time fan of this. The other show's fairly similar to this one, but a little bit different. But we kind of say the same damn things. It's the same 2 damn people, so what do you expect?
That's right.
We got one-track minds. But anyway, I hope to see y'all soon. We'll see you next week for our Christmas Eve special, and hope you guys have a great December and great holiday and Christmas season. Bye, y'all. Be safe. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching and listening to my Christmas wish list for our society. Hope you guys have a great holiday season and a great Christmas. And think about other people, too. If you can afford a little charity, it'll do you and your kids. If you have kids, if you don't have some kids, go adopt some kids. Just kidding. But go out there and think about somebody else. Maybe help somebody else do a food drive or whatever. It wouldn't hurt. If you can. If you got a little extra. Think about others that are in need. But anyway, have a great season. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.